Hey guys, welcome back to Flathead Ron's Garage. Well, I think I'm going to lap these new stainless valves. And don't get me wrong, I mean I should be grinding the seat, but I just don't have the stones or the grinder. I suppose I could make up something that holds the stud. You know, I've got extra valve guides and I've got a lathe out there, I got a whole machine shop, but I still don't have the stones or the machine. But you don't laugh at me when you see me grind these because, okay, I have this really old cup that I've been using for a long time grinding valves, and it is no longer supple enough. Yeah, you heard it right. My cup is no longer supple enough to stick to anything. So, I had to improvise. Just to do 8 more valves, I had to resort to Gorilla Tape and my arbor for, oh, I don't know what they're called, for my little Scotch-Brite pads. Click, twist and click, or whatever they're called. But so that's what I'm using to hold the valve. I'll put the guide in, I'll put the valve in, and I'll put a fresh piece of tape on there, and I'll have a clean valve and it'll stick to it, and I could just rotate it nice and slow, tap it a few times. The valve I'm expecting from the measurements that I took is going to seat closer to the top area of the valve than it is the face of the valve. But I'm not going to take off any just to bring it down. I'm just going to leave it like it is and then trial fit the heads, and we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and get started and see what these exhaust valves are going to look like on here. So right away you can kind of see the different valves here. This one's got a shoulder on it right here, and these don't have any. So these are a whole lot easier to put together. But it's the same valve, really. I mean, there's a few thousandths difference, but I'm not really going to worry about it unless I have clearance problems on the heads. Not right now. I'm just going to see how these seat first. This isn't a high dollar engine build. I'm not a mechanic, and just remember, I'm just an old guy in my garage trying to have a good time. So that's a little bit of that bearing guard mixed with the remnants of my Esky Rev Lube, because it was getting down there mighty low. Looks like it's going to be time to order some more. Slip the guide down there. And set that valve on there. And don't laugh at me. I think there's enough sticky left. Yeah. You know, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. At least I'll see what I'm looking at. If I could see what I'm looking at, I need to get a light here. Yeah, just like I thought, it's going to be right up towards the top. I'd rather see it a little bit closer to the middle. But you know, that's going to seat just fine. It gives me plenty of room down the road if I need to grind. Let's see what the seat looks like. Well, actually that looks really nice. I had bluing on there, it was just like this here, but looking around there, that's not on the seat area. I mean, looking around there, that looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other 5, 6, 7, and I'll go ahead and bring you back. I don't think you want to sit here and watch me do all of them. And once I get done with them, I'll come back here and put the assemblies back together. I put my copper anti-seize around the valve guides. I started putting the valve guides in, and apparently the camera either wasn't on, or I don't know, maybe it was my error, but I got 2, 4, 5 of them done. I'm on the 6th one over here, so I've got the 3 more, 6, 7, and 8 to do. There we go. There we go. See, I like to take my time with the, oh, now that I slip off, I like to take my time with the intake valves, because they're the ones that have the new O-rings on them. There we go. It's down now. That's not in there right. That's, yeah, well, never mind. Anyway. Is that it? My golly, that's it. As the stand tries to slip out from under my feet, how come you're not in there all the way? There. Okay, you're in there all the way now. And so much for that. So I'll go ahead and take care of this other side over here, and I'll bring you back when I go to adjust the valves. Well, all the intakes, all the exhausts are in. They've all been lapped. Now I'm going for a valve adjustment, and I'll see if I can insert pictures, if I can figure it out again. This is a Harman Collins 3/4 grind cam. And I'll insert a picture of this also, so you can see the specs on the cam. Here's the exhaust valve here. So that should be 13,000. And there's way more than 13 thousandths in that. So I'll take my little wrench here that I ground down, and I ground it so where the top is flat and the bottom has a little angle to it. So no matter where the lifter is, or the push rod, however you want to refer to it, no matter where it is there in the bore, you can get to it. Still a long ways to go there. A little bit too much on there now. So just back it out a little bit more here. And then what I'll do is I'll go through all 16 lifters like this. There we go. Just so there's just a little bit of, I was getting ready to put this rear crankshaft seal in. It comes in with a little kit here. You put this in here and you use this as a spacer and you trim it off and use this to keep from cutting your thumb. That's good for me. So I'm going to have to get a little sealer on that real quick. This is a new type of crankshaft seal. It's a synthetic. Just supposed to be able to wipe a coat of oil on it and it's good to go. So I'm going to bring the cam around to number 1 center. Right about there. There we go. And we're going to do these. There's a 30, probably 30, 60, and maybe then up to 80, 85 pounds. Okay, there we go. I'm just trying to get a feel for where I want this to come out. I think I'll have it come out across here. I'm not sure which side of the pan I want it to come out on either. This is the hole that we're going to have to braze shut. Once we make a little plug for this and braze it on here, we'll be good to go. The oil will come out the bottom as soon as I drill the hole, put an extra plate on here and put my 90 or whatever I'm going to put on the bottom here. I'm not quite sure yet. So stick with me. We'll get there. And then the cover. These bolts don't back out, because if they back out, you'll have a big oily mess all over the place. I don't know if you want to watch me do all 8 of these, but at least we're going to do one of them. Number 1, pistons have all been cleaned. Number goes towards the outside. And I'm just going to try to arrange these so the gaps aren't anywhere near that relief. Okay. Make sure you get the oil down in the grooves there. Now what I've done to this is what I didn't want to have to do. This is the bottom, and you can see what I did is I took off about 3/16, and now I have a step that'll fill up the relief. As soon as I get down here and the ring gets out from underneath the compressor, it's gonna catch on this here. I've got a bigger chamfer on it. I did all 8 of them. So let's see if this is going to work for me. Fresh oil in the cylinders. Okay. There. Now, let me go get my... Okay. Let's see if we can... There we go. That was easy. That was real easy. I should have ground that last time, and I was just sticking it out and I didn't want to do it. Wow. Okay. we go. Okay, now we'll go ahead and put the nuts on. We're not going to torque it or anything. So I'm going to still use some plastic gauge just to make sure I check all my bearing clearances and I don't have a surprise. Okay. And we'll just give these a little bit of snug to keep them on there. There. And then we'll go ahead and get the next one done. You know what? Oops. Okay. There. Okay. Okay, here's number 2. Well, I'll rotate the crankshaft. So number 3 is far away from it. Oh, she's pretty. Cute little thing, isn't it? So this is going to be our new starter, and it says to go ahead and dry fit it. I've got the oil pan back here behind me. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple bolts in the oil pan and dry fit it and see how far the Bendix kicks out. Make sure I got plenty of clearance on my flywheel here before I go bolting it in and just hooking power to it and trying to start the motor. So I don't want to damage this flywheel. But join me next time. We'll get more done. We'll start working on that full flow oil system. I'll go ahead and get some paint on the block in the meantime. And I've been doing a little bit of contouring here and there. I'll let you see all that when I'm done with it. Okay? Thanks for watching. That's all for this time. Flathead Ron's Garage. Be safe in the shop. Bye guys.